All right, hello, here we are. We have a channel favorite to discuss today. It's crazy for you to be here on the YouTube and not already be familiar, but in case you aren't, this would be a really good introduction to the brand. It's something that's been important to us at Canoe Club for years and years and years. So we had a model in, threw on some of the new arrivals, Cole, Alec, and then they were unboxing.
And we've said it a million times, but OrSlow can be worn by everybody. It doesn't matter what kind of style you've got or what your deal is. Like OrSlow just works into any wardrobe. We're gonna be going through like one of many more shipments that we'll have throughout the season.
In this shipment, just to note, it's primarily core/restock, so it's a lot of fatigues, things that you are already familiar with, but we're gonna walk you through kind of how we styled it on our model, the fabrics. In the event you are new here, however, shout out you, thank you for coming to show some love. If you wanna like, comment, subscribe, that obviously goes a long way for us. We don't do sponsors or anything like that. We kind of are our own sponsors here at Canoe Club. All right, we'll just hop right into it. All right, so here we are with the first look. I started by choosing the wide fit French work pant from OrSlow in the coffee brown. This is now the second or third season that we have restocked these, but they get a lot of love every single season.
Yeah, when you see it in person, it's definitely brown, no question, but there is some like olive tinges to it.
Yeah, I feel you.
And the reason I bring that up is because you can easily work this in kind of anywhere color palette wise and you're gonna be fine.
You could wear it with blacks or really whatever.
Yeah, and I think that because of that, like you actually get like almost a more versatile pant at the end of the day. If like olive or the green feels a little like big for you or loud, because I think that for some people it would, this is an easy way to kind of work in that similar vibe and silhouette and like even color palette to a certain degree in without being like quite as bright maybe or traditional.
So I actually really like these in particular for the like half elasticated waist. The back half of the waist is elasticated, which the front is not. So you can wear it with a belt or without.
It's really comfortable and you can kind of wear it up high or down low and you can kind of adjust the fit a little bit by just kind of lifting or but I also tuck my shit in a lot of the times. This you can do, whereas sometimes if it's a fully elasticated waist, it just doesn't look quite right sometimes. This you can still get like the fitted look, even especially if you're wearing a jacket and you never even notice the back, but you still get that like able to yank it up or yank it down.
Also worth noting with the wide fit, the silhouette is like fairly roomy. Obviously we have it styled on our model here. It might be a little hard to tell. He is a devilishly handsome fella, but he's also like on the taller side by quite a bit. So you can see he's still filling them out nicely, still plenty roomy. It's not a slim pant by any means. Also, I really like the herringbone that they use. It's soft, it still has that crisp nature, but it really, really softens up a ton. I've had them previously on like a navy herringbone. And then obviously we just have a nice white chambray work shirt here. So one thing that's interesting is when OrSlow delivers these to us, they're actually wound up tight and tied into a knot.
Tied almost like it's like a figure eight. I'm gonna speculate here. I don't have this exact information, but the reason you would do it is when they're wet, you tie them like that. It's a little bit of a packing thing, but it also gets these softened up really quickly. Like it's an easy way off of washing to get that like, you know, that crunchiness that sometimes like a starchy fabric will have. It's an easy way to get that out really early on and have that like worn in feel. Now, if you are bothered by that, you give it a quick wash, you give it a normal like tumble or something like that, it's gonna go right away. These aren't set in or anything like that. It's not like the fully intended look, although definitely that kind of wrinkled, relaxed, very used look is something that they tend to do. So I think it goes either way. It just depends on what you're looking for out of it. As you can see in the photo, like there's a little bit of the remnants without leaving all of it. And I think that's probably how I would do it. You can see just how like relaxed it's fitting while still being like comfortable. Like he doesn't need to tuck that in and it still looks great, which is really nice about a work shirt as opposed to an Oxford, which tends to flare a bit on the sides, which it looks really great tucked, but it can be a little hard to style not tucked.
Yeah, sure, I know what you mean. So,
cool.
And then just to kind of round out the look, obviously there were more pieces on his body than what is shown here. I had our Legacy trucker jacket from this season. I thought that color, it's like a mauve-y lavender kind of situation, would look nice with the brown. And then just like a really solid, the Penton loafer from Doc. Kind of just
if you're looking for like an easy way to like look stylish without having to think too much, like any sort of like plain black everyday wearing like penny loafer type of thing, you can kind of get away with sort of anything. You could dress that up, dress it down. It's like it's really easy, and I just think it always looks good. And I like the mauve with it. I think it really showcases how well this can kind of fit into a lot of different palettes, because this would have obviously looked great with a denim jacket. You could put it with black, you could put it with kind of anything, and it's gonna work. It's gonna look good.
Yeah, totally. Cool. All right, we'll move on to the second look. All right, moving into the second look, it's kind of fun how you brought up wearing the work shirt kind of as its own piece, kind of open. You can close it as a mid layer, what have you. So we have the Chambray Work Shirt. Again, something that we have had many, many times. It sells out all the time. You should really have a couple of these utility pieces. You know what I mean? The things you don't think about when you're like, I don't really know what I'm gonna wear. I'm just gonna throw this on. You'll wear it hundreds of times.
End up with something like this, wearing it way more than you think. If you're traveling, you throw it in your luggage, you'll wear it 15 times on a trip. You know what I mean? Because it just works with everything. You don't have to think about it much. It washes really easily. It's only gonna look better the more you go. Starts out with that kind of cool iridescence. This is that like very classic, very traditional chambray that is kind of hard to find now, I've noticed. This used to be like, you'd go to the Wallace and Barnes and pick up this one, you know what I'm saying?
Familiar.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
This is like, but this is like, it's just executed kind of at like a perfect level. Almost feels like a jacket to a certain degree, you know? It's not too long, not too short. You know, when you look at like those old, like the Western shirts from Wrangler or something like that, they tend to be very long. They tend to be curved. They're kind of hard to wear open. This sort of solves all that and makes it super easy. So,
yeah. I treat it like a denim jacket, just like a lighter version.
Yeah, this is the denim jacket for summer. Yeah.
Or if you're me, you just power through and you wear
same thing
year round.
Yeah.
All right, moving on, we have the wide fit 30s hickory painter pants in the hickory stripe. One, I wanted to shout out the fabric itself. It's like already got a very soft, drapey, kind of washed feel to it.
You can see just how I'm picking it up, but it's not keeping its shape at all. It's like, it's very soft.
Yeah.
You can really tell that the blue stripe is denim when you see it up close, meaning as you wash and wear it, that bright blue that happens, that like Lee colored blue will come out over time.
You know, standard like 5 pockets up top, but a wide fit like painter pants. So we've got the little situation on the side here to put all of your tools that you'll be using when you're wearing these pants, maybe your hammers or what have you. Treat this like a fatigue. It's gonna have a little more volume throughout than the regular fit fatigue will. Probably a little closer to on par with the wide fit French work pant.
I really like that they've bar tacked everything on a pant that's this soft and like comfortable. I don't really need all the extra metal pieces and all that shit. And I also think doing it with the button fly up front, it really creates a better kind of like front facing silhouette to it. It just lays a little bit better. So I think this is really nice if you're like looking for something this spring or summer that like flows a little bit more than a pair of jeans, but you still kind of want that structure and stuff. This is kind of like the kind of a perfect option. And I like how we've paired this here where it's like, it's really relaxed looking.
I got some PF flyers down low. It feels like
and I think it's smart because you know what? I don't know if this has it, but most of the time, when you find these like vintage, something like it, the bar tacking is green. You know?
Oh,
and then I also, down here, I really love the little hit. This always has the shamrocks, which is like, it usually harkens back to the button that'll have the shamrocks on it and stuff.
Really cool. And then obviously just a lady white tee underneath, kind of works proportionally as well. Cool. Let's hit the next one. All right, so you want to play something super simple. It's the dead of summer where you live. It's hot out. This is my personal go-to. By that, I mean fatigues. But these in particular are the vintage fit in the dark olive. So they're gonna fit a little more roomy than the regular fit fatigue. I realize I'm throwing around a lot of styles here, but just in case for any of the OrSlow heads you wanted to interpolate your sizing, these are gonna be more roomy than the regular fit fatigues. I think more like the summer weight fatigues.
Yeah, there's a noticeable feel difference that you're not gonna get just by looking at pictures.
It's closer to like a true vintage fatigue. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little furrier almost. It has a much softer, like immediate hand.
Way less structure.
The regular ones almost start off a little crispy and then get soft. This is, you're already there. It's like a noticeable shade difference. Like, whereas I think the regulars almost look a little minty or something.
Yeah, sure, like a sagey green.
This is more proper flat olive.
One thing to note about these, they come with that kind of press in them. That will just steam out, wash out. So nothing to worry about with that. Treat them like a pair of old jeans, you know what I mean? Cut into shorts. It's kind of like a punk thing to do.
I used to always have like a raw hemmed pair, a pair of shorts, a regular one, ones that were a little longer, ones that were a little wider. It's just kind of like something you could have a million different variations on. I actually think that this is probably the one I'd gravitate to most, just because of the feel, because it's exactly where I want them to be right off the bat to do what I want it to do. I really like these ones in particular. I think they get a little like overlooked in that they're only slightly different than the other ones and it's hard to see. So hopefully we're able to point at a few noticeable differences.
We've also restocked like green used regular fatigues, all of those. I specifically chose these because of the fabric is an outlier in the family of fatigues. I'm also gonna put you onto some game real quick before we move on to the next one. I buy a size up in whatever pants that I would buy from OrSlow. I'm typically a 3, I'm buying a 4. I'm taking these buttons, the furthest most ones, I'm popping them, moving them a little further to the back of the pant, and then cinching them. So if you wanna achieve like an even more voluminous look, it's a super easy way to do it. It literally costs you nothing but some thread.
what you're trying to get them to do, I believe, is get them to hang right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you want the volume of the pants because the fabric will weigh itself down and have a natural sort of easy look to them, but only if you've kind of created like a tension at the top. So by doing that, you are moving them to like kind of land naturally at your hip and then hang the rest of the way.
Exactly.
And that's really why you would do something like that in particular. You can take it to a tailor, put a little V in the back, tighten it up there. You even see sometimes when you buy the vintage ones, you'll see that it's already in there, and that'll create its own sort of aesthetic. So really understanding like the silhouette that you're trying to get, these are really, you can manipulate these very easily. So just kind of consider that. And I like that the way we styled it is like the way that I would wear it in the summer. It's just white tee and shoes. Again, if you have that little green hit on the shoe, it just looks a little bit more considered than it being nothing. But I think the less you think about it too, the better. That also works. But this in a white tee is, I don't know. It's just like in our minds, it's always been like one of the coolest looks you can have.
Just, That's what I gravitate towards when dressing myself or pulling shit for models. But yeah. All right, look for, again, we're highlighting the pants here with this one. These are the Super Dads from OrSlow. So we have the 107 being the slimmest, followed by a 105, followed by a 101, rounding out the options with the fourth pair is the 100 and or the Super Dad. So these are gonna be the roomiest cut of jean that OrSlow offers in a recurring style. Again, maybe some of the painters might fit a little more roomy than this, but if we're just talking a 5-pocket jean, this is the roomiest one they make. We've got it in the one wash here, so all the fixings that you would expect from a pair of jeans. Does have a zip fly on this. And then just a nice roomy leg throughout. No taper, or if there is, it's gonna be like a negligible amount. It's not a tapered pant by any means.
I think that like you can kind of see it when it's laying flat so much more easily that like you've got this rounded hip that you can kind of see coming off right here. There's your roundedness, and then you're gonna get roundedness here that comes to, when we're saying taper, obviously it's a wide jean, so taper is sort of,
if there's any taper on it at all, it's just how it's gonna sit on the shoe.
But when you look at the model and the way that's happening, you can see it fits rounded on the hip, so a real natural like lay on the hip and some room up top, which feels comfortable. What you don't want is like the Jinko look. You know what I mean? You don't want this like just big for big's sake, and then it's baggy, and then it's like hitting weird behind the leg and all that. It never lays down just quite right. On the model here, you can really tell the way it's gonna lay properly, which is like, it's a little bit more fitted than it looks when it's just laying there flat, you know? Two things. One, I think people are weird about black and blue.
I don't understand that.
It's really just more about getting it right. You don't want like a hard flat navy with a hard flat black that just is never gonna quite mix. The nice thing about the raw that they do is how like it has a brightish blue hue to it because of the rinse. It just looks a little flatter in person immediately, but as you wear or when it hits light, you really see it's like a more bright, proper blue. And that looks great with black. Like it contrasts it, I think, really nicely. This is a really good denim, like this raw denim, if you wear a lot of black and you wanted to have a raw denim. This is the easy one to add in, as opposed to like the more grayish hue. It seems like that would be better, but I think that's when it doesn't quite match up right. And then just looks off.
Like creates tension or something.
Boxy jackets are very like in right now, you know what I mean? And it seems to be that they're gonna stick around a little bit. I have a sight jacket, absolutely love it. One of my favorite pieces that I've had in a while, but it's a boxier piece. And the one thing that can be a little weird about boxier pieces, if you don't balance that with how your pants are, the exact silhouette that I think a lot of people are going for is sort of this, where it sort of, you got boxy, comes in just a little bit, comes back out, without making big, pronounced flares or like hourglass things. And I think this is a perfect example of that, of how you work this denim in and what it actually looks like when you're wearing it, as opposed to just thinking this is a really wide jean. It's really important to think about that kind of stuff when you're putting these things together, taking like bigger risks silhouette wise, is making sure that you complement the silhouettes and not just do a big boxy jacket and then kind of forget everything else.
Cool. All right. Lastly, the 107s, probably the slimmest cut that OrSlow offers.
I think so.
And you know, fashion is super cyclical. For a long time, the 107 was our most sold. We're still moving them. People are still wearing nice, slim, tailored pants. But just wanted to show that you can still kind of work these in with what you got.
I think it's an important thing to note is you don't have to live in this world where you only wear wide pants or only wear skinny pants. I'm not sure what that is. Like there's a reason for both. And I think that the way it's styled here is kind of perfect, where number one, it showcases this isn't a skinny jean. It's just a slim jean. It's actually probably more similar to like 1954 like Levi's 501s, where you've got nice room up top, and then you've got just a steady taper throughout. And then I think that really does work sometimes with like certain silhouettes. This whole look with a wider pant becomes a completely different thing. It's not that it would look bad, it's just
a different
you know what I mean?
Entirely.
In my opinion, suddenly you'd need the slightly bigger top or maybe different shoes. You'd have to like kind of change things out, where this is really classic looking, which is nice. And you know, paired with like something from Capital with like interesting garment dyes, well, now it becomes classic but interesting.
Yeah.
And it's the extremes you don't want to live in. You don't want to have huge pants and you don't want to have skinny pants, really. You know, if you want to play in those worlds, that's great. Then that means you don't need our advice. You know what I mean? You've got your own thing figured out. But in a world where you're not sure, just don't get too stuck in this like, well, pants are big, so I have to wear big pants right now. That's not the truth. Just get something in the middle. This is classic. This is never going to go out of style. You know what I mean? Like as you can see he's been wearing wide pants the entire time in pictures, and all of a sudden we go to this, it's not jarring. No. It's like a slimmer silhouette. It just makes it work. You know, it works in a different way.
We're here to give you permission to make decisions around what you want to wear. Just feel free to wear what you want to wear. In fact, Chirabo, he's not on camera, but the other day he had on this really cool outfit. It was like vintage comb de garçon shit, and it was slimmer, and I was like, dude, just looks good on you. You know what I mean? So
yeah, just compliment the whole look. Don't worry about like, am I this guy or that person? Or do I?
What's happening?
Just make classic choices, and you're kind of always safe if you're not sure. And this is a classic choice. It's just a I mean, if you buy like 501s, even from like the 70s or 80s, they're mostly more in this category. Whereas like a modern 501's a little bit wider. Even older ones are a little bit wider. So you can kind of change and still be right in the middle. You know, in a
cowboy
positive way. You know. Another thing I wanted to point out is if you're looking for a white jean and you're not sure, you know, which one to choose, this is kind of the one, in my opinion.
It's not like a stark
No,
white.
it's milky. Yeah. And it has a lot of texture to it, and it's going to age well. And I think when you buy white jeans, the first thing you need to do is, it's like, you know, a new car, or it was always a thing with guitars where it's like, you got to get a couple nicks in them right away, and then it's going to look great. So don't baby these, buy them to like, I'm going to be harsh with them. You know what I mean? I'm going to get some stuff on them, and I'm going to just wipe it off. I'm going to wash them.
Right?
Yeah.
In the white, and they were nice and patina through the thigh. I thought that was sick. You were the first person that I saw pull them and be like, no, just fucking spare.
Yeah, just don't think about it. The more damage you do them, the cooler they're gonna look, the more natural it's gonna look. And we all know that like when someone pulls something like this, it's so cool. It's just I think people get intimidated because they're like, well, I'm gonna get shit on it. It's like, well, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, you will. You will.
Yeah, of course you will. Yeah, just like jeans, you know. So it's the same thing. So I think especially like going into summer, this is a nice thing to showcase, and you know, in these really easy to wear ways.
Yeah, great,
cool.
Well, that was that. What great fun. Great fun. Thank you for being here. Truly, it means the world. Again, if you could like, comment, subscribe. Anything you do like that really, really helps us out on our back end.
Plenty more on the website right now. So much more coming in. So if you like this, we'll do more. Or if you want anything different, let us know. But we got a lot more OrSlow to come. So. Yeah, we truly see all the comments. We take all the feedback. We do this for y'all. So it's really helpful when we know kind of what clicks and what you're interested in. So awesome. Thanks, y'all.